Hey everybody, Nintendo is celebrating the 35-year anniversary of Super Mario Bros. Now earlier this year they released Super Mario 35 on the Switch, which I still don't have. But it is also the 40-year anniversary of their Game & Watch series. What they did was they mixed Super Mario Bros. With Game & Watch and they released the Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers, or the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch. I don't know how you're supposed to say the name of this thing. If you're not familiar with the Game & Watch series, it was actually a lot more popular in Japan. It started in the early 80s. I think they ran for about 10 years. There was something over 40 of them released. They were very primitive compared to games today being more arcade style handhelds. No fancy graphics, no fancy sound effects. As a matter of fact, the only sounds you heard were beeps and boops, and that's it. If you're familiar with the Tiger Electronic handhelds that we had as kids, they're pretty much the same thing, but with Nintendo quality. So the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch I have here is actually limited edition. And before we get started into the review, I have to thank Rick67. He donated so that I can get one of these. If it wasn't for him, I would not be able to get my hands on one of these. So big, huge shout out to Rick for being as generous as he is, and for being a great supporter of the channel. Also, remember, don't feed the scalpers. It may be very difficult to find one of these online, but if you have a Walmart, a Target, or a Best Buy near you, get off your butt, go into the store and get one of these. When I went to my Target to get mine, they had like 15. I looked online today, my Walmart has some, my Best Buy has some. If you're having trouble finding this online, take a walk to your store, ask the associates. More than likely they'll have some available for you. So what is the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch? Well, let's open it up and find out. Interestingly enough, my first comment about this is actually something negative. You see, the box actually has this plastic sleeve on top of it, so Nintendo put tape to keep them, together. Well, unfortunately, they put the tape on the box itself. Now, this being a limited type collector's edition thing, that kind of sucks. But we still have to get this thing open, so... You up for it, Betty? Here's a closer look at the Game & Watch box. I like the gold color. It's got a lot of nice art on it. Got clear font, very nice. We've got Mario, Goombas, hills, a question mark block, a warp pipe. At the top, you'll notice we have 35 coins to represent the 35-year anniversary. On the back, Bowser's hanging out in his castle. We also have a picture of the 3 games and the clock function. On one side it says SM35, again representing the 35-year anniversary. On the other is a Bullet Bill, Lakitu, and Koopa Troopa. So wait, is the whole name of this thing the Game & Watch Color Screen Super Mario Bros.? Now we can remove the plastic screen and it completely changes the look of the box. The only Mario that you see on it is from the ball, so it's kind of like the whole Super Mario Bros. Part has been removed and now you're left only with the Game & Watch part. It turns out that the tape comes off of the box very easily, so don't worry about damaging anything when removing the tape. So my earlier gripe about the tape being on the plastic sleeve and the box itself kind of is negated now because of how easy the tape came off with no issues and no peeling of the cardboard or art or anything like that. So let's keep going. For whatever reason, getting this part open was a little difficult. But when you do get it open, you get a special thanks from Nintendo with Mario and Luigi. There is a tab on the inside of the box that makes getting the rest of the contents out very easy. You get one charging cord, USB-A to USB-C, and it is Nintendo brand. And besides the instructions, the only other thing that comes in the box is the Game & Watch itself. And it looks awesome. The size of the screen looks great and everything just looks really polished all around. On the left side you have the D-pad, which actually first came from the Donkey Kong Game & Watch back in 1982, which was then moved over to the NES controller. On the right, you have the 2 red B and A buttons. The last 3 remaining buttons are the game, time, and pause/set buttons. Nothing special on the back except for that sweet red color. On the left side you have a lone speaker which works really well, and on the left you have your USB-C charging port and power button. When you first start up the system, you are greeted with a picture of a juggling Mario with Luigi hanging in the background and a Goomba, and a prompt to press the time button. And that brings you to the clock screen where you can see the time and you see a Mario running along the ground trying to dodge Goombas. Hitting the time button on this screen allows you to change the backgrounds. Hitting the game button brings up the list of games with Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2 Japan, and Ball. You can navigate through the menu using the D-pad. Pushing the A button on the game selection screen will enter that game, and if you hit the A button one more time, you'll start the game. And I have to say, this screen is incredible. It is so bright, it looks so nice, all the colors pop, and the controls are spot on. Hitting the pause/set button allows you to adjust the volume, the brightness, or reset your game. Now, I'm kind of an audio snob when it comes to my NES game, so I'm happy to say that all the sound effects are emulated perfectly on here. Everything sounds exactly how it's supposed to. Even the ball game sounds awesome with its blips and boops. There's even a B mode that allows you to juggle 3 balls at once. Whoa! And for my favorite feature, here's the clock. Every time a minute changes, Mario will hit the last digit on the clock, and you'll see that little tick marker that goes around the screen clockwise to represent every second that passes by. Each time it hits one of the hour marks, it turns red. You can summon some Koopa Troopas by hitting the face buttons and the D-pad. To set the time, hit the set button, and then use the D-pad to select your time. I have no idea what happened here. The enemies turned into beetles and the seconds ticker started flashing. I'm a little scared. So besides the software that comes on this thing, one of my favorite things about the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch is the aesthetic. I love the gold and red. It's basically the same color scheme as the Famicom controllers, which I also love. It's the reason I got the 8BitDo FC30 Pro gamepad over all the other gamepads. The buttons on the Game & Watch feel really good. They're not as good as, say, the buttons on the NES controller, but they're very responsive. So responsive, I was able to beat Super Mario Bros. On my first try, which unlocks a difficulty setting. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the original, so that's new. I do want to note that the D-pad is not the same size as what you would find on an NES controller as well. It's just a tiny bit smaller, but it's still very responsive and it gets the job done. A little bit more about the aesthetics. The screen is pushed out a little bit more than the rest of the system as well. It's a small thing, but it does add a little bit more polish to the system. My favorite feature of this isn't actually the games. I love the clock feature. I'm going to keep this thing right next to my computer monitor and use it as my actual desk clock. The only problem with that is that it falls asleep after a few minutes. So if you want to keep the clock on, you have to keep it plugged in. And as long as it doesn't damage the system, I'm okay with doing it. It kind of looks bad with the USB cable sticking out the side, but to me, it's worth it because that is actually my favorite part of the system. And apparently there's a ton of Easter eggs with the clock function. There's other videos out there you can look at to find out what they will. I will share one with you that I found on my own. While holding down the A or B button, push the other face button and you can turn the blocks yellow. I know, it's sweet. One of the first things that people asked me when they found out that I got one of these was, can it be hacked? I have a couple comments about that question, and the first is it doesn't look like it can be easily hacked. It requires some soldering and things like that, but as for a software hack, it doesn't look like there's anything really reliable that could come in the future for it. I honestly haven't done any research on it, so I don't know how easy or hard it is. This is just what I've been hearing from different people. But my second comment about hacking the system is I don't think this is something that should be hacked. This isn't exactly a gaming system. To me, it's an item that Nintendo put out as a celebration. It's meant to be kind of more like a collectible. In my opinion, is really meant to be enjoyed as is. So I guess there's a couple categories that you can fit into. You can fit into like the hardcore Nintendo fan appreciating the things that they put out in the past, or you could be on the more hacking emulator modder side of this. And if you're on the Nintendo fan, love the things they've put out, really appreciate what they've done for their fans, their old school fans, the retro fans, keeping us in the loop even though they know things like this probably won't bring in new customers, absolutely get this. And if you're on the modding side, I highly recommend you pass up on this if you're only getting it because you want to add more games to it. Now I understand $50 for 3 games really is not a great value. And I think it would have been cool if they added more Game & Watch games to the system, but I understand they're trying to keep with the Super Mario Brothers theme, and they did have some other Game & Watch systems featuring Super Mario Brothers, but with this system specifically, I don't think they could have done it and kept the price the way it was. So if you love Nintendo, you want to celebrate 35 years of Super Mario Brothers, 40 years of Game & Watch, absolutely pick one of these up. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch. Did you get to pick one up? How are you enjoying it? Have you played the Mario games on there? I've actually never beaten Super Mario 2 Japan. I don't think I'm going to beat it on here. I do like the ball game, and I got the ball game up to 1,980 points. And I just did it for fun. That happens to be the year that the Game & Watch came out. Do you think $50 is too much for this item with only 3 games on it? Do you think I need to keep my opinions to myself when it comes to modding things like this, and if you had your hands on it, you do it anyway? I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say. And that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Hit the button and go. Hit the button and go.
35 years of Super Mario Brothers with the release of the Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. Nintendo is celebrating the 35 year. Hey everybody, Nintendo is celebrating the 35th anniversary. 35 years. Earlier this year they released the game Super Mario. Anyway, so the Super Mario Brothers interesting is basically, I do want to note that the D-pad, honestly haven't done a lot of $50 for 3 games isn't one of the main reasons is $50 for 3 games. So wait, is there's no Mario, the only Mario you see on it is, also turns out the tape comes off of the box. This is the part of the video where I thank those users who support the channel through YouTube memberships and Patreon. Door, Rick67, Travis Morton, Geode, Jason Holbrooks, James Burkhart, Mike Muniz, Red Silvers, Sam Torres, Yaroslav Orudzov, Andre G, Din Cardoso, Red, DirtNap79, Lenmare, James McEwen, Jeremy Mullins, Bob, Travis Is Win, and Batman.